Almost 7 years have passed since Ronda Rousey's last fight in December 2016, and her life has changed significantly. The 37-year-old Rousey is now talking about the difficult loss, which occurred a year after she lost to Holly Holm for the first time, as well as her abrupt exit from the sport in her second memoir, Our Fight, which was published on Tuesday. The former UFC women's bantamweight champion tells people that her new book contains a lot of surprises and details her activities after leaving the arena. I had to go basically radio silent from the media for that entire time because I couldn't be open about my concussion history and everything like that, and I wanted to be able to make my own decisions about things and not have people say that I can't fight or can't compete, Rousey explains. Even while Rousey refers to her husband, retired fighter Travis Browne, as her best friend and the greatest man, she claims that at the time, she was unable to communicate her true feelings to anyone, including Browne. I just felt like I didn't want anyone to worry or stop me, even though my husband was like, "Why didn't you talk to me about this stuff before?" From a very young age, I just kind of buried it all down, the woman claims. And we kind of get into how that started, Rousey continues. I was probably 6 when I had my first concussion from swimming, and I kept getting them over the years. It becomes simpler to obtain another each time you obtain one. I've reached a stage where I get concussion symptoms if I receive an open palm smack to the face. Due to her neurological problems, Rousey claims that she had to step away from fighting even though she had never been stronger or faster, or had a better grasp of the game. I simply couldn't withstand those blows and continue to fight at that elite level. I don't want to keep testing that because you never know when you've had one hit too many until decades later, the woman says. Beyond her physical limits, Rousey claims that when she stopped fighting, her mental state was dire. The reason why I got into MMA was I just wanted to have a career doing something that I enjoy, and that was it, but it just kind of snowballed and into something bigger than myself and my own livelihood, she says. And same thing when I got into pro wrestling, I was just trying to have a good time with my friends, and then it snowballed into this whole women's revolution and everything, which I'm very happy to be a part of, but I kind of got distracted from, hey, I'm just here to have a good time too, I'm trying to do something great. The former wrestler continues. In her introspection, Rousey discovered that she should put her pursuit of happiness ahead of her pursuit of perfection in her next phase of life. I was simply thinking, who the hell are you trying to impress at this point? With whom are you competing? Nobody is present. I simply kind of got so engrossed in stuff that I forgot why, she continues. After I had the weight of the world on my shoulders, at one point I felt like it was almost like my duty that I had to keep carrying the world, and it's too big of a task for any one person, and nobody's asking you to, Rousey explains. And so I kind of had to get out of my own way and find things that were fulfilling in themselves instead of looking for that outside validation and look for it in things I found validating. These days, Browne and Rousey, along with their daughter La'akea Makalapuokalanipo and Browne's 2 sons, Kaleo and Kiwi, reside on their family farm east of Los Angeles. We also own a few thousand acres in southern Oregon, called Browsey Acres, which we split with our partner. We therefore farm pasture-raised poultry and wagyu in a regenerative manner, she says. According to Rousey, whose family has thrived on the meat, the animals at Browsey Acres are humanely raised and treated with dignity. We raise our cows and raise our chickens in the back, and we use their manure to compost together. We practically live off the grid in the city because we source all of our own food, catch all of our water, and use solar power. Additionally, all of our produce is grown in these planting boxes, she continues. Even while they still stumble down to the grocery store for certain items, I'm not growing rice, jokes Rousey. The family tries to source everything ourselves as much as possible. Get the best of people, from captivating human interest stories to juicy celebrity news, by subscribing to their free daily newsletter. Don't miss a story. Browne and she intend to remain on their property until the boys receive their high school diplomas. After that, they'll relocate to Hawaii to open a dojo. Me and Trev are going to start a dojo when we move to Hawaii after our boys graduate high school, and we want to teach the local kids for free and stuff like that, she explains. Rousey has recently developed a strong interest in creative writing in addition to farming and agriculture. This book and the previous one really sparked my interest in creative writing. It's been a really wonderful influence in my life, she says. I've been writing screenplays and things to keep my mind in a positive place, and if I feel myself going somewhere negative, I'll consciously turn it towards something that I'm creatively working on. For the former combatant, her love of creative writing has developed into a more lucrative career. I'm actually an intern at the Warner Brothers story department right now, learning how to read and cover scripts and stuff like that, just to make me a better writer, Rousey disclosed, before announcing that after this book, I have my first comic book coming out, based on my very first script ever.